He's one of the best managers in all of mixed martial arts. He's got an incredible team. He had an incredible Saturday with Paul Hughes winning in Belfast and, of course, Jack Della winning in Montreal on the same freaking day. They're on fire. He's back on top of the welterweight division. He's our old pal, Tim Simpson, who's joining us in studio for our yearly chat. There he is, the man. How are you, sir? Good day. Fucking oath cunt.
Fucking oath.
Did I get it?
No.
Why?
I mean, that wasn't too.
You're a fucking oath cunt, right?
No.
That's not how you say it?
I was actually trying to think of it like an American.
Please sit. Speaking to the microphone. This is how we talk on podcasts. Sorry. I know you don't do them often.
Sorry. I was trying to think of like an American way to explain it.
Okay.
It's like you guys would say like right on or like fucking A.
Yeah.
It's a term of like agreement, like strong agreement, like oath, like it's like an oath, like that's a real hard fact.
Okay.
So if you'd be like,
so you can't be that.
No, you're not a fucking oath person.
Oh, okay.
You could be like, you're a great bloke, and if I'm in agreement, I could be like, yeah, fucking oath.
Oh, okay. Like
it's a term of agreement. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But I appreciate you trying.
I'm trying. This is yours. Yeah. What, you need a coaster? No, you're good. Don't worry about it. I just answered a question. I don't know if you heard about the Adelaide Crows. You hate the Adelaide Crows.
I wouldn't say I hate them.
But they're doing well, according to this guy who just wrote me.
Yeah, I'm West Coast. We're 0-9 this year.
0-9.
So I'm pretty well checked out of AFL news at the moment.
Do you follow? Is that your favorite sport outside of fighting?
Well, pro wrestling and AFL. Yeah, I like cricket as well.
What is it? Is it Aussie rules?
Aussie rules, yeah.
Okay, and what's the difference between Aussie rules and rugby union?
Different sport.
Totally different
sport. Yeah, so Australian rules started about 150 years ago. It's like a sport that's not quite as rough as rugby, but a bit rougher than soccer.
Okay.
So it's a bit of a mix. But yeah, it's a unique.
So you can't do both.
Nah.
So Volk did what?
Volk played rugby.
And Jack Della?
Rugby.
Tuivasa
rugby.
Anyone play Aussie rules?
Not at a high level that I can think of in MMA. No one I can think of.
What a time for you, Tim.
Yeah, it's been.
You got married recently?
Week. Yeah.
You went to WrestleMania?
Sick.
You killed it on Saturday?
Good day.
That's got to be one of the best days, right? For you as a manager in this game, Paul Hughes, Belfast, homecoming, Jack Della winning the belt.
Yeah.
It's got to be. I know you've had some great ones. Leon winning, Izzy, but that's got to be one of the top ones, right?
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, it was a really good day, definitely. And all of them are really special. Obviously, there's a certain pride of Jack doing it from Perth. Perth is
your
my
hometown.
Heart. Yeah, and it's my heart, man. We really get around each other. And statistically, how small and remote that is to what he's done. The odds of that are so small. And being from there, my family's still there, all my friends are there. Perth, it really is my heart. And for him to do it from Perth, it means so much for all of us.
When did you first find out about him, hear about him, meet him?
It's funny because my old man reckons he's owed a finder's fee.
You found him?
No, don't say that.
I mean,
so me, Perth's small. Me and Jack probably grew up about 10 minutes from each other.
Wow.
But I'm a bit older than him, so we went to, so there's the PSA school system, the sport. So you play sports, and my school played against. I grew up playing against. He went to Aquinas. I went to Scotch. I grew up playing against Aquinas, but I would have been in year 12, so my senior year, when he was in year 8, so just coming into high school.
Okay.
I'm 5 years older than him or so I didn't cross over with him in school. My brother and his brother are the same age, so there's a bit of crossover there. But I knew who he was just from following the region, the Australian scene,
right.
He was tearing it up. But my parents and his parents met on a holiday.
No way.
In Broome, and they were just chatting, and they were like, "Yeah, my son's an MMA fighter," and they were like, "Oh, my son's an MMA manager." And they went chatting there. So this is where my dad thinks he found him. And I was like, mate, everybody knew who Jack Della was in Australia.
Did you know of him when they told you?
Yeah. I was yeah, he's the. Then he may have only been 5-2 or 6, maybe 6-2. It was early on. But I was like, yeah, I know him. He's sick. He knocks everyone out. And then I went when Izzy fought Rob in Melbourne.
Okay.
I went to Eternal the night before where Jack was fighting Kevin Doucet. And watched Jack, met his parents, and I was like, listen, Jack's amazing. I don't think he needs a manager right now, but when the time comes, let's have a chat. And when I feel like I can add value, let's do it. And that ended up being towards the end of his eternal career. And here we are. So good 5-6 years ago.
And I remember you were telling from the beginning, like, this is the guy.
Yeah.
You were super high on him.
Yeah.
Did you think it would happen? I don't want to say this soon because it has been a few years and he had the setback with the arm, but like it feels like it was moving along, and then and obviously some things had to happen with what happened a couple months ago, but like beginning of the year, you probably weren't expecting this, right?
Well, no. Beginning of the year, no, because we had March scheduled with Leon.
How difficult was that for you? You love both guys. Those are two of your favorites, right?
What, difficult if they were going to fight each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not fun, like I guess from a personal perspective, but like in the end, Leon wanted it, Jack wanted it, the UFC wanted it, the fans wanted it. So I think my interests probably fall at the bottom of that pile.
But in a perfect world, you don't have your clients fighting each other. Because I remember the first time you launched Chosen, you said you wanted one guy per weight class to avoid this issue.
Correct. And these were the only two because Leon's like one of my best mates in the world and Jack's my boy from Perth and also very close friends. So it's not like when I said I was leaving, they were both like, well, we're going wherever you're going. So I was not going to tell either of those guys, sorry, like there's only one spot at welterweight. So that was always going to happen. And they never end up fighting each other yet. That very much, may happen in the future and I'll just deal with it then, I guess.
Yeah. So I wonder what was tougher, like the prospect of them fighting each other or then when things get shifted and one moves on.
Yeah.
Because, when Leon was on the show, he said, like, I would have taken the title fight, obviously, but he was so tied to that card. They couldn't have taken him off London. Was that a difficult spot for you?
I mean, it was, but at the same time, it's like the UFC made a decision. And it's like that there was nothing necessarily that I could have done. Like, I couldn't really campaign against it or for it necessarily. I just had to ask the questions of like, why Jack over Leon? I just need the information. And, I said, is it Leon or is it Jack? And they just said, listen, we're doing Jack. It's not like I could pick anything or do anything. So from there, it's just manage the situation the best I can. Mm-hmm. It wasn't necessarily on my shoulders or my decision. So in that case, it's not too much for me to stress over. That makes sense.
Your level of obviously you're going to back your guy. Do you want to get your water?
No.
You worried? It's okay.
No.
Don't worry.
There's a funny. I just have I'm just a fidgeter.
Okay.
Like I can't sit still at any time in my life.
So this is tough for you.
Yeah, but like it's I'm really not much on social media.
Sure.
So I'm not in the comment. My wife does. My wife reads everything. And like
she's reading the comments.
She reads everything.
Oh no!
But it's like the biggest thing I only really do interviews with you. It's just like he's on drugs, he's on cocaine.
Oh no!
Like why is he so twitchy? What's wrong with him? Like that's a crackhead. I was like, I'm like really trying to sit still.
Okay, no. Do your thing. Be comfortable. Be comfortable.
At any time, like around the house, if I'm on the phone, I'm always like moving and everything. So I'm trying to like. Not that I really care what the streets are saying, but yeah, I'm a twitchy person.
This is in Mexico, by the way.
Where
you live?
Yeah, I live in Mexico, yeah.
Which is wild. Like I was telling the boys in the back, they're like, what? He lives in Mexico? Yeah. How do you like it there?
Love it, yeah, love it. It's been over 2 years now, yeah.
Incredible.
Love it, Mexico City.
Are you? We were wondering if you are the gringiest or gringo in Mexico because like you're so white.
Probably not. I mean, there's where I live in Mexico City. It's like filled with expats from all over the world. So, but yeah, probably.
Why did you pick Mexico?
So my wife's Colombian, so she speaks Spanish. I want to speak Spanish fluently before we have kids, so there's no secrets in my own household, language. And then I was in LA for like 7 years. I think things in LA got kind of weird around COVID. And it was just like a lot of people were moving out of the city. It's a lot cheaper in Mexico. And just we both work from home. We both work for ourselves. So it's like you've got an opportunity to do something different. I've always I've lived in like 10 different cities in my life. Like I don't dig roots too much, So just another move, something cool, and I'm loving it.
How is the Spanish?
I would say I'm fluent.
Oh really? You can have a full
I'm
conversation?
Get criticised as fluent. Yeah. Like I fluent to the extent that I don't need English. It's like I think the goal is to understand and be understood. It might not be very pretty, but it's enough to facilitate conversation without English needed.
our director is from Venezuela, and so I told her that I was going to ask you to speak a little bit of Spanish, and she said she never heard someone with an Australian accent speak Spanish.
Not pretty.
So could you tell us just like how you felt seeing Jack win the title in Spanish?
Bien.
That's it?
Me sentí bien.
Okay.
Me sentí bien, yeah.
Come on, Tim.
No.
Puedes.
Todo bien. Estuve muy, muy emocionado.
Oh, that seemed legit, right?
That's pretty good.
You got the little
Gracias.
accent there.
Estoy intentando.
Okay, wow. You turned into a different guy. I feel it.
I guess a little more high pitched.
Yeah, okay, this is good.
I'm trying.
Okay.
Yeah, I put in a lot of work, like doing the lessons there, obviously living there, and yeah, I love it. It's like you speak a bit of French, eh? Like,
Yeah.
Having a second language is really cool. I really like it. I feel like it made me smarter.
How was my hometown? How did it
Loved
treat
it.
you?
Loved it.
Was that your first time there?
Other than the Presso where we went.
Right. Like this little. Yeah, you liked it. You liked Schwartz's,
Really
huh?
cool. Yeah, we did Schwartz a few times. Hard to get a bad meal there.
Yeah.
Food was really good everywhere, and people are really nice. We were in Old Montreal, which is really beautiful. Only criticism is the parking was a nightmare, but
Okay.
I think we copped about 6 parking tickets as a whole team. So other than that.
Was it because you
cool.
couldn't read the signs? You couldn't understand?
That, and there was just like around Jack's Airbnb, there wasn't much. So we were just like, fuck, we'll just cop it, I guess.
Did you feel like did Jack get a lot of love there? Was he getting support, or was it more
Like from the crowd?
Yeah, from the people? Like if you guys
Yeah.
were
I think there was a lot of Palestinian flags, a lot of Palestinian. So he was getting a bit of booze, but I think Bilal got like booed to bits. Was very loud boos, and Jack was kind of half cheers, half boos. So I think there was definitely love for him. Yeah, he's a hard guy not to like.
Absolutely, and we'll get to that in a moment. But having to, I mean, obviously you're guys fighting for the belt, but you have Paul Hughes, who you adore as well, as getting this homecoming fight. Not being there with him, how difficult was that for you?
Sucked. Like Paul's a big boy, and because he's at home, like
Sure.
he was very well equipped to look after himself. But I was more just like for the experience, because people are telling me that was the loudest crowd. Like the place was just humming. So that was a bummer, and I think it's quite rude of the UFC and the PFL not to consider my travel schedule.
Agreed.
But next time.
So how did you watch?
Man, we don't know if I should admit this as someone in the industry, but we had to get a stream.
Oh yeah.
Because it wasn't playing in
yeah, it was
Canada.
unbelievable. Yeah, it wasn't playing in the US either.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, like freaking out. We were trying to like use VPNs, and I'm here incriminating myself and everything. We couldn't get it to work, so Dan ended up finding a stream, and we just watched it on the stream.
Crazy. Here it is, the finish right here. 42 seconds.
Beautiful. People want to talk about like say Bruno was overmatched, but Bruno's so tough, and just that technique is so beautiful where he traps. It's like an outside catch and then swings around. Like that's not an easy thing to do. It was just like perfect execution of quite a difficult technique.
His striking is phenomenal.
Amazing, yeah. Amazing.
AJ McKee, he looked phenomenal in.
Yeah.
This fight has to happen, the rematch.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Do you think it does happen?
I believe so.
There's a little part of me that is worried that there's this exodus happening in the PFL right now. Patchy Mick's now gone. This happened yesterday.
A lot of the former Bellator guys, right?
Yeah. And Usman is one of them.
Yeah, I don't know. That nothing to my understanding is that he's...
Have they told you that it's going to happen?
It's the plan, and I'm not being coy with you.
Sure.
Like there's a few things that have to happen, but the plan was build back to it.
Okay.
It was how quickly do we build back to it, but I think after what happened now, it's like, just, why would you not do it now? And like I've been speaking to Kogan about it. Kogan's great. He gets it. Kogan's been doing it for 20 years. He knows how to build fighters and promote a fight. So that's the conversation we're having. And my opinion is let's do it now. Paul's opinion, let's do it now. I can't see why we wouldn't do it now.
Last year, the big thing was, okay, where's Paul going to sign all this stuff? He seems very happy, and it seems very genuine.
Yeah.
Is there any part of you that feels like, okay, yes, he's happy, it's genuine, all this stuff, but let's be honest, the biggest spotlight is when you're fighting in the UFC. That changes lives. Does he need to get there?
Tough question, right? Like if you look at financially, it's if he had signed to the UFC versus what he's done in 4 fights in the PFL, like without giving exact numbers on it, it's like 10x.
Okay,
so
wow.
It's like when it's like that much of a difference, it's like what for exposure, for money, it's like as long as you're happy and like you're meeting your own financial goals, like does he need to go there? No, he doesn't need to go there. Does he want to go there one day? Who knows? But right now, he is genuinely really happy with the PFL. They've done so well by him, and he's done well by them. Like 4 fights in, 3 of those 4 have been blockbusters. Like what he just did in Belfast was huge. Usman fight was huge. AJ McKee fight was huge. Even Dublin when he fought Bobby King, like that was a spectacle as well. I think he's delivered big time for him, and they've really looked after him. So happy days right now.
So no better person to ask this question than you, in the sense that, we were just talking about this earlier, the state of the game, the state of the business, the lack of competition right now, the gap between the UFC and everyone else getting bigger and bigger, PFL letting these guys go. You want to be in the business of like, hey, what can I get from you? What can I get from you? You got to negotiate. You need leverage. Like this is your world, right? How do you feel about the current state of the game when it seems like, like one isn't an option anymore? They're not really paying top dollar. It just feels like there's less places for guys to negotiate with. Thus, there's a cap on how much they can make. How do you feel?
I definitely agree that leverage is important. I'd say I'm probably not the best person to discuss like between the organizations. I'm about to sneeze. Because I've got to fight this. It's gone. But because of my athletes, I've only got 1 in the PFL. You know what I mean? Everyone else is UFC, so I don't deal like with the PFL all that much. But yeah, leverage and competition is super important, right? Super important.
You feel like it's healthy right now?
Not like it was. Like I think there's certainly less, and it doesn't affect me so much because all my athletes are with the UFC except for Paul.
But it could affect you in the sense that like, hey, one guy's deal is coming up.
The free agency. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that's, I'm not currently in that situation. There's no one that's like on the edge of free agency right now. Like we did new long-term deals with all my biggest clients. The past 12 months we did Leon, Max, Jiri, and Izzy. So like they're all fresh. So that's years away from happening. So I haven't really put my mind into a situation like, hey, this person's coming to free agency very soon. How am I going to play that situation? And I'm not trying to dodge your question.
No, I get it.
Like, I very much mind my own business and try and relate it to myself. But as a whole, yeah, you are right. Like a lot of people put their eggs in the GFL basket and even bailed out of like existing contracts to do that. And I think like, I didn't speak to anyone there, but that's up in smoke now.
Right.
So if you are, I mean, listen, if you're the UFC and you've got a big star, or if you're the PFL and you got a big star, it's like, yeah, you've only got one competitor that they could possibly go to, and it's a small industry. It's like not great for leverage, that's for sure.
Where were you during the Jack fight?
On the weekend?
No, like where were you sitting?
Oh, in the front with his wife and his mum and his dad.
What is that like when you're there with the loved ones? Because like you have a connection, right? And so you probably feel a great anxiety, but for them, like this is their son, their husband. Yeah. Do you talk to each other? Are you reacting to things? I can't even imagine what that stress is like.
Yeah, often. And it really varies as well. It really varies. Like, they were pretty chill, the Della crew. They were pretty chill, yeah. Obviously, they were pretty nervous, but, I mean, we're not super high-strung people from Western Australia anyway, so I think they were, there was obviously nerves and everything, and, like, in between rounds, you're like, I think we're up here, and that's fun, and they were pretty cool, the Dellas. I've had, a lot of intense ones,
What was the most intense?
Oh, with the Adesanyas, like God, his parents are such good people, and they're beautiful people. But his mum really kind of gets in almost like a very, very intense.
Wow.
There's a lot of prayer and everything, and always very intense with his parents. They're very spiritual people.
Love it.
And I think they get quite into it. So always with them, it feels very intense, and you just want them to be okay. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Were you surprised at how the fight played out?
Nah. What did I tell you? What did I text you last week?
Well, I mean, yeah, you told me you were coming with the belt and all this stuff.
I said it's like we know something.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised. I equated it to like when Max was fighting Justin, or when Leon was fighting Usman the third time, or when like Izzy was fighting Costa. It's this feeling where it's like, what are you guys watching?
Right.
I'm like, I feel like Jack was an awesome matchup for Bilal. And I was like, we're like, what are, of course we're really close to it, but I'm like, what are we seeing that everyone else is not seeing? I felt that same way before about other fights. So I was like, I I wasn't really surprised. And even I was talking to Dan, because all week, me and Dan, like, this could happen. I said to Dan, I was like, I've got a feeling this is going to be a dominant decision. Like, that's what I said during the week. And like, I don't know, I wasn't surprised.
What about the narrative in the aftermath? Like, why didn't he shoot more? And my thing is like, he didn't shoot more because he had Big Jack in front of him.
Well, the first line of defense in martial arts, every martial art is your footwork, is distance.
Mm-hmm.
So like people like think about like Israel Adesanya's title run. He kept it on the feet. He does have good defensive wrestling, but it's I think about Anderson Silva. Like, yeah, they got good defensive wrestling, but it's your first line of defense is your distance. When you're a master of striking, you're a master of distance, and that's just what it was. Like, it's Jack's footwork and distance. It wasn't like Bilal. If Bilal wanted to shoot more, he would have shot more. It wasn't like there's that narrative of I'm going to show those hands. It's like when you're in the heat, you're doing what you do to win.
Right.
So yeah, I don't think it was a strategic thing from Bilal. I think Jack's footwork and distance was just precise, and it makes it very hard.
So since we had Jack in studio, Dana White announced yesterday all the news: Islam moving up, vacating the title, Ilya, Charles, etc., etc. So he did say it's going to be Islam versus Jack, but no time frame attached to it.
Yeah,
I'm assuming later on this year.
Yeah, it'll be this year for sure.
It won't be August because that's DDP against Khamzat. September, it would make no sense. That's the Noche UFC card. So I'm thinking,
looks like Canelo.
Yeah, no, he does. And last year they had Marab and Sean at the top of the card, so it could happen.
And I don't think they got a Mexican star that could main event it right.
But that one in Guadalajara would be a little weird, no?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
you got to put someone there.
Then you've got October and then MSG and December. When do you think it happens?
Between September and December.
Yeah, okay.
That's an honest answer.
Yeah.
Like obviously we were speaking to Hunter all day yesterday, and it's like they have a few moving pieces. So Jack gets home, leaves here Friday, gets home Sunday, deserves a little bit of downtime. He's got one of his main training partner and one of his best mates, Jack Becker's fighting next weekend in China in RTU. Wow. So he's probably going to go there and support his teammate, then get back, and I won't say he's going to rest. He's at the gym today. So
wow.
Yeah,
here in New York.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was training today. So it's like he won't be resting, but it's like, just let the body heal up a little bit, and then he'll want to go as soon as he can. It's just about what makes sense, you know?
So I saw an interview with Ali Abdelaziz, who is Islam's manager, and he's like, look, if Jack's not ready to go, they're going to strip him of the belt and all this stuff. I'm like, the guy just fought 3 days ago. What are you talking about?
Why wouldn't he be ready to go?
I don't know. I think he was just trying to be like, we call the shots here. Just because we're moving up and we're not the champ, we're calling the shots. Did you see this clip?
No, I didn't see it.
Okay.
I mean, if I had 4 legs and said moo, I'd be a cow. So. I just don't really see the relevance. He's going to be good to go.
Yeah. There are no issues there.
No. No. He just fought. Not injured.
Right.
Don't know.
Do you like this for Jack in his first title defense?
I love it.
Why?
Because he loves it. I mean, it's like what's bigger, Like what's bigger than the number 1 pound for pound guy? We're saying it feels weird because he's going to be the champion, and Islam doesn't have a belt or won't have a belt. But I feel like kind of feels like Jack's the challenger. You know what I mean? In a certain capacity, it's like he's challenging, I guess, for the number 1 pound for pound spot. It kind of feels like he's the guy that's chasing it because Islam's so great. Islam's the number 1 pound for pound. He's done so much. Almost feels like it's, sure, Jack will be the champion, but it's almost like inverse. That's the way I kind of see it. And I think that's the way Jack sees it too. And, what he said yesterday, we were kind of chatting about during the week, and he's always kind of spoke about these fights as like matchups rather than like what moves him towards a belt or what is a belt. He's always kind of like, yeah, I reckon I can beat him. And that's what it was with Bilal. It was like when we was like, man, it's a title shot. He's like, oh, I reckon I can beat Bilal. Like, yeah, he's got the belt, man.
Yeah.
And he says the same thing about Islam. He's like, I reckon I can beat him. So who am I going to be like, oh, this is a bad idea? Like, I think he's
It's the highest profile fight as well.
Massive. Yeah. There's financial benefit to that. There's legacy. He's going to be number 1 pound for pound. But more than anything, Jack's like, I reckon I can beat him. So let's go. I feel like it's still, he's a champion, but I feel like he's got nothing to lose.
Right. He said that he thinks that Islam's going to stay for 1 fight and then go back down after fighting him. I like that. It was like some subtle shit talking from him.
Yeah, he's quicker than people give him credit for. He's so chill, but he says some things and you're just like, oh yeah.
The Ian Sun line that got a lot of attention.
He's very considerate with his words, but he's like he's quick. He's quicker than he gives off. You know what I mean?
Feels like maybe some guys, not specifically talking about any of your fighters, but like some guys might be hard to deal with or maybe a little demanding. Feels like a pretty chill client, right?
Oh yeah, I mean he's our boy. You know, that's like he's my mate first and foremost. He's Dan's mate, and since day one, like just I guess where we're both born, the way we grew up, you know, we're very similar. And like when you got someone who, on a personal level, you connect with really well, but then also like just wants to fight everybody, doesn't complain. Like nothing really bothers him in life. So yeah, he's great to work with. How
worried were you about the forearm as he was going through all of that?
I think he was scheduled to fight in March. I think the extra couple months helped a bit, but he's been cleared since December, so not worried.
It wasn't getting scary with the multiple surgeries and the...
Oh, back last year?
Yeah.
It was, it sucked like just because it was really affecting him. Like you talk about a guy who doesn't complain much, like, and he wasn't, oh, this sucks, it's not fair on me. He's not like that. But you could tell it was hurting him because he's a competitor and he loves to fight. Like he loves to fight. He's from that like Adesanya and Volkanovski type cloth where like, if you could give him 6 pay-per-views a year, they would. Like he 100% would. So that sucked for him. And I think like anything, there's a silver lining in it all. Like his daughter Paloma was born and he was able to be at home with that. And it was definitely... I never really worried that like, oh, he'll never come back, but I did really feel for him because it was just a nightmare. You know, missed 2 Australian cards, 1 home in Perth. Like it just sucks because I knew he wanted to be out there and fighting's what he does.
How do you think the rest of the division now plays out? Now that we know that this is the title fight, Brady, Gary?
I think so. I think that makes sense.
Is that a number 1 contender fight?
Probably depends what old Shavkat's doing.
Then
I think like Leon's a former champion. Like Leon wins 1 fight and he's right back there. When you're a former champion, you've always got that shine on you. So
when do you think he comes back?
Sooner rather than later.
This year?
Yep. Yeah, 100%. 100%. He's in good spot.
Have there been talks yet about his return?
Not yet.
Okay.
A few just kind of like, he's got a few things going on, so just figuring out a few things.
How is he doing? Because we haven't heard anything from him since the
He's
fight.
good, man. He's good. Like, obviously, it hurt him. Like, he doesn't like losing because he's, again, a strong competitor. But, like, I'm so proud of where he's at in his life. Like, this is a guy who was born, I've said it 100 times, like in some of the greatest level of poverty you can find. Like, a lot of people want to talk about what they've been through, and you know, he's been through more than anybody knows. And like where he started in life, you know, he's got a beautiful house in Birmingham, he's got a beautiful family, like he's good for life now, which I'm super proud of. So there's nothing that's gonna drag him down too much because he's done so well and he's happy, you know, happy in life, right? That said, he's a competitor and he wants to get back to the top. And I think it's when you're a guy like him, a couple fights and he's right back in the mix. So that's obviously a big push for us is let's get Leon right back up to the top.
Hey there, sorry to interrupt. Just want to remind you, if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button. We would appreciate it very much. And while you're at it, give us a thumbs up too. You know, we've got live shows, interviews, clips, and a whole lot more going on this here channel. All right, now back to the show. I've talked about this with a few managers because I'm fascinated in this, and I'm fascinated in like what you guys go through, the roller coaster. You guys, when I talk about the managers, like you guys, you experience the highest of highs, right? I mean, I can't even imagine what it's like going with a guy on that journey and then they win the belt and then you're in the back and you're doing the medicals like, holy shit, we won. Like that's got to be unlike any feeling. And then there's that other side of the coin where it's like they lose the belt.
Yeah.
And the world is now coming down on them and everyone's calling them out and everyone's saying like, you don't have heart and all. Like those two extremes, which feeling is more intense? Obviously, you'd always want that victory feeling, but the 2 a.m. trip to the hospital maybe when you had the belt 2 hours ago, now you don't. Like those are two, I can't even imagine what those emotions are like. Which one is more intense? Which one do you feel more? Do you know what I mean?
It's a good question. I mean, the weekend was nice to feel one the other time because prior to that, it was 12 months of like our clients lost 5 consecutive world title fights in a row.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a real.
Izzy,
Went
Max,
from Jiri, Izzy. No, Jiri, Leon, Izzy, Max, Paul.
golly.
In the space of like 7 months. Yeah, so I was pretty much dead inside.
How was that? How did you deal with that?
Oh, it sucked. I was my life is good. Like I'm not gonna sit around and sulk, but it definitely took a toll. Like month after month, like you go and you spend a whole week, and these are my friends, these are people I love, and it's like spend the whole week, and then like they lose a title, lose a big fight, and then you're in that hole because you ride it with them, and it was like 1 month after the next month after the next month, and then like even into this year, like then Izzy in Saudi, and then like Leon in London, and I was just like. I was making jokes like Jack loses, I'm retiring. There's easier ways to make money, but you gotta like.
It takes a lot out of you, right? This whole thing.
It did for sure. Like there was one moment in particular where I just like it kind of broke me a bit, and then after that I was like, I'm dead inside. If we lose, we lose. But yeah, like particularly with people that I'm so like personally close with. It's not even from a sense of like, oh, like this isn't good for business, because that'll always figure like these guys are going to be in good fights. Like,
right.
Not a career thing. It's an exhausting feeling to feel that, and then a month, and you do it again, and then you kind of get this like expectation of it, because it's like, I guess, I don't know, you like prep yourself for disappointment, which is a crazy thing, but you get kind of used to it. So this was like, it felt good this Saturday to get back to that feeling, I guess.
Which when you're 80 years old and you're kind of reminiscing on your career, which fight week do you like think about the most, that you're most nostalgic about? Like this one, just everything went right. The vibes were great. The camaraderie was great. The city was great. The weather was great. The arena was great. Is there one that like just it felt like everything just kind of fell into place?
Not that I can think of. I can actually think of ones where the vibes were bad all week.
Oh, really?
Like I can think of a few of them. But
really? You just felt it?
Yeah, I felt it. Like Manchester last year, like.
Oh, the middle of the night one.
Yeah, it was like
even leading up to it.
I got to Birmingham, and when I got to Birmingham, first time I saw Leon, like I felt it was bad, because he'd been like trying to train on that time zone for 6 weeks, and he looked drained, and I was just like, oh fuck. And then that fight where he, like staying up all night and everything, like it was just like I had this feeling in my stomach. I was like something's off here. Like I don't know if vibes are the universe, whatever. I was fuck, something bad is going on here. So I've had those, but on the flip side, like a lot of good ones too. This was like last week was a sick week, like with the boys from Perth. Like it's a great crew. When we were in Miami, when Izzy knocked out Pereira, that was awesome. But any time, like that's the best part of this job is the people. It's like I take the piss for what I do for a living, because half the time I'm like in my third, like helping to a bunch of 30-year-olds like all live in a house like boarding school, and just go and you're doing like the media stuff, great. And then you got a fight at the end. It's like I'm grateful for all of that. It's such a cool thing to do over and over again, and it's not something you can do forever, right? So it's something I definitely, like in those moments, just enjoy being in those moments, and they're all awesome like that, because there's a lot of other things I could be doing in life, but I'm pretty happy that a lot of my time is spent doing that.
So you represent some of the biggest names in the sport. Jack Della, now champion, Izzy, Jiri, Max, Leon, Bam Bam. Who else we have? Casey O'Neill. I'm doing this off the top of my head here, so you tell me. Paul Hughes, obviously in PFL. Like those are some of the biggest names in the sport, right? And I understand that you're not going to tell everything here, but just take us into your world for a moment. When you're in the trenches, like, can you give us like the negotiations with the UFC? Like those, I hear about these negotiations all the time, right? The old days with Lorenzo and Dana, you're now part of the new era with Hunter and Dana, right? And I think it's more Hunter who's like in the trenches when it comes to these things. I think he's the most important person in the company right now, because he's the mover and shaker. You see him out in Dagestan, going to meet with Islam. What are those experiences like for you? Still pretty young, 31, 32?
33.
33.
This is my 10th year in MMA. So say I'm a
You are a veteran. Yes.
So
I remember when you used to walk around with Connor's suit back in the day, trailing him with his dry cleaning.
I know.
You've come a long way.
I know. I'm grateful for that too. Like that's great memories. But I mean, yeah, it's in a small industry. Like a lot is built off reputation and relationships, and I feel like I've done so many deals with Hunter that you kind of get a cadence for it. And I would like to I was a lawyer. Hunter's a lawyer. I think we're pretty good. I mean, one of the main skills you learn is just kind of being fact-based and try and strip emotion out of it. And I think, obviously, I've had like big professional disagreements with Hunter, and like we just don't see things the same way. That's fine. But I think it's like when you've done the same type of business with the same person so many times, like we get stuff done pretty easily. And I've got a lot of respect for him. Like I think he treats the fighters with a lot of respect. And if we disagree, like we're just going to disagree. And ultimately, it's like it'll resolve itself some way. But it's probably not as, particularly now, it's probably not as like you would see on like a show like Ballers or Jerry Maguire yelling down the phone. I think my temperament is quite like, I'm a deal maker, and as a deal maker, I feel like I'm a pragmatic deal maker. Like it's solutions focused, and I feel Hunter's kind of the same way. And
okay,
as a Sean and Mick, like I don't really get into like big drawn out emotional things with them. It's probably not as sexy and as like high stakes as people want to like make it out to be.
I mean, these are big ass deals that you're a part of.
Yeah,
huge
but it's
fights.
I know, but it's they are big, but it's like it's also pretty straightforward after doing the same thing for so many times. Like straightforward in some way, but it's just like I know it like the back of my hand, as does the UFC. So let's just figure it out.
Max Dustin retirement fight, third one between the two of them. Did you like that one when they brought it to you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was kind of cooking for forever.
Yeah.
And with Max up to 55 and everything's moving around there, like he really liked fighting Charles. I really liked fighting Dustin because like Max is such a nice guy, but like one thing I guess that publicly you don't see as much of him is he's so competitive. Like he's so competitive. And I think the two wins that Dustin has over him, I think a part of him wants to really get those back because they were on kind of like weird circumstances. One was a short notice on his debut. The other was also a short notice upper weight class. So I think without any animosity towards Dustin, I think there's a bit of a chip on his shoulder to beat this guy. And it's a top 5 ranked fight in the UFC for a big belt, a main event. So yeah, I really like that.
Is he staying at 55 now?
Yeah.
For the rest of his career?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, I never say never, but I would be very
for
surprised.
now.
Yeah, very surprised.
He, by the way, do you know, like, if Dustin, if he wins, are they going to retire that belt? Like, did they tell you, because they haven't talked about it, that's not an option that you're thinking of, obviously.
Well, I don't think they'd come to me and say, hey, in case he loses.
Sure, fair enough.
So, yeah, no discussion on that.
I saw you training with Max. Like, are you full on sparring with him, or is he just being nice to you? Yeah? You're touching him up?
Where's Max?
He's out there.
I'm fucking him up. Nah.
Here you are. Look at you. Tall, long.
Just cleaning him with that right
What are you about to hit him with? An uppercut?
Cleaning him.
No. Wait, look how much bigger you look than him in this photo.
He's also crouching down.
Yeah.
Pretty big. We were like flow sparring. Like
okay.
Even with like flow sparring, it's actually humiliating. Like his movement, his footwork is so good. Like he was just like, he had this grin on his face. I was like, fuck you. Like I could tell like he was literally going, I was trying to like, we're not throwing hard, but he was like, it was beyond toying with me.
That was at Zuckerberg's, right?
Yeah.
What is that like?
So cool.
Here you guys are, just hanging with Zuck.
So cool. Yeah, they're all cool. Like I've known Jason for a while, one of his coaches, and all those boys were really cool. Really, obviously, really cool.
Dave Camarillo there.
Yeah, Dave, really nice guy as well. Just really like.
You spar Zuck?
Nah.
They don't let you get close to him, huh?
But I tell you what, like, it's not like that. Like Max kind of put it on him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Max kind of put it on him, and he doesn't fold. Like he's like, I'll give him that. Like he's tough. Like he's tough and like not like in the striking.
Right.
In the grappling, like Max wasn't like treating him like with like on eggshells. Like Max was giving him pretty good work.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So what does he do? He just calls him up and says, like, do you guys want to come?
Yeah, well, him and Max know each other, and Max, that was in Hawaii, is pretty close, and I think that like they chat on a number of stuff. Max, we've done heaps of like activations with Meta and everything, so I think it was a matter of time. Like, hey, when it lines up, come over to the ranch, we'll get some training in.
What experiences you have? And then I see you training with Goggins and Izzy,
That was fun.
going for the run there. Did you do the whole thing?
I did the run.
You just did the run?
Yeah. Unfortunately, there was only like 2 assault bikes, only 2 Stairmasters there, so I had to bow out.
Unfortunately, huh?
Otherwise,
Look at you out there hanging with the boys.
you know,
Slow motion. Pecs going up and down.
Yeah, I had Air Maxes on.
Oh, is that the problem?
I didn't know we were going to train.
What's wrong with
I
Air
forgot.
Maxes? You can't run in
Mate,
those?
they're not a running shoe. They were heavy and they were stiff, and my feet were like bleeding, and my shins and my calves were so sore. But like, I'm not going to not take that opportunity.
How long was that run?
9K.
9K.
Yeah.
Damn.
9K. Yeah.
Were you struggling?
I've been running a bit lately, so no, I was all right.
Okay.
It was definitely at a much faster clip than what I usually run at. I run pretty slow, but fortunately, I've been running a bit, so I wasn't in bad shape. It was more just my feet were fucked from the shoes.
Really? And what's his vibe like,
So
Goggins?
cool, man. So cool.
Intense? It's not all for the cameras? Like he's
Nah. He's intense. I couldn't believe like how hard he pushed Izzy, and he was like not even breaking. And then like afterwards, like Izzy went and got a massage, had a nice bath. I'm like, what are you going to do now? He's like, oh, I'm going to train.
Damn.
Like, man, what you just did was insane. He is what he projects himself to be. Yeah, I don't think there's any fakeness there.
Did you throw up?
Nah, I just did the run. I was good.
And then you went to WrestleMania that same weekend. That was around the same time.
Yeah.
Your first WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You're a diehard fan.
Yeah.
What was it like?
Awesome. Everything I hoped it would have been. I mean, even like night 1 was sick. Night 2 was, I think some of the matches, the main event, it
was a bit of a disappointment.
A bit light on payoff.
Right.
As I said, WrestleMania is a payoff show.
Right.
And I didn't feel any kind of payoff. But the experience was insane. 60,000 people, like so fortunate to get really good seats thanks to Israel, and yeah, thanks to the
Look at you and the boys. I mean, those are pretty damn good seats. I think you were right behind the announce table, right?
Yeah.
They showed Izzy on the screen and nameplated him. I thought I was going to see you get that.
I was there. I was trying to film him and film in and out, but it was cool. That was again just so fortunate to do that. I've been watching pro wrestling for like 30 years and watched so many WrestleManias, so it was definitely exhausting. Like towards the end of night 2, I was like, man, my adrenaline is so burnt here.
Do you like the 2 nights?
I think for WrestleMania, yes. I think for SummerSlam, it's a bit overkill.
Yeah.
WrestleMania, I think it's good. I think it adds some spectacle and gives enough people like the opportunity to work.
I thought last year they did it perfectly because night 1 and night 2 there was a connective tissue.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be a stickler, but I don't consider main eventing night 1 to be the main event.
That's a good point. Yeah, I agree.
So like when they try to say this now
for Punk,
and I'm happy for him. I love the guy, but I'd like for him to main event night 2.
Yeah.
And then all the stuff with Cena and The Rock not showing up, and
I don't feel like it's you main evented a night of WrestleMania, but I feel like the main event is night 2. Like they were never going to put Cody and Roman on night 1 and say it's just as important.
Of course not. Who's your favorite guy right now?
Penta.
I knew you were going to say like either him or
I love Penta.
Or Ray Phoenix.
Yeah. Ray Phoenix is cool too. I mean, Seth. I'm a big Seth Rollins guy.
Okay.
Seth's been my guy for a long time. So.
Did you get to go to the back?
Nah. It's crazy the way they did it. Like, they don't really have like a celebrity section like the UFC does, where they bring you through the back to your seats and it's roped off from the general public. Like, we went through the general entrances.
Okay.
Like, luckily we had some of the like venue security, but they don't really do it the same as UFC. Like, Izzy was kind of just out in the wild on the most part.
Was he being bothered?
Yeah. That guy can't go anywhere in the world. Like.
Wow.
Because I think the way he looks, he's so tall and he was so famous, such a great champ. Like, more than anyone, like, man, can't go anywhere in the world without getting bothered.
What do you think's next for him, or what do you want to be next for him?
He wants to fight this year.
Yeah.
We've like kind of had light conversations around when that is. Like, his schedule's so busy with like outside of fight stuff, so it's about like lining a few things up and making the fight the absolute priority, like he did with Imavov. Like, he really locked in for camp, and I think he looked great and got unlucky. So. Just figuring out like timing wise when that works, but for sure one more time this year.
Strickland?
Potentially.
You like that?
Yeah. I like. I mean, what I want, like, I'd love for Izzy to get like someone with the name value. You know, there's a lot of these young up and comers. I'm like, what does that really do for him?
Right.
You know, so
Strickland will qualify, and there's a good story there, right?
Yeah. And I know Izzy really wants that again. Like when we were talking about Jack fighting Islam, it's like I'm a very I think my management style is very like fighter and coach first. I'm not often the one that's going, hey, I think this is who you should fight. Like I have those opinions, but I think that should be more deferred to the athlete and the coach. So if Izzy and Eugene are like, hey, we want to fight Strickland, who am I to say, no, this is a better option, you know what I mean? So if that's what Izzy and Eugene think's a good idea, then I'm going to support that.
Did he consider retirement after the last fight?
No.
No,
he's still hungry. Like I feel like he's in a different era now where like, again, like when you've got that former champion title, I'd say almost every. I'm sure there's examples that don't make sense, but 1 or 2 fights and they can sell you into a title fight at any time.
Mm-hmm.
So he still has the hunger for the sport and the training. I think young guys in his gym are really motivating him, like Nav on the weekend and all that stuff. So, and I think he looked really good against Imavov. Like that round 1, I was like, this is vintage Izzy.
Right.
So if he came out and just looked like super washed and slow and he wasn't training hard, then it's like we have to have a conversation of, is this worth it anymore? But when he looked that good, it's like, how are you to say, and then he got caught, how are you to say you're not in this anymore? I think he looked brilliant in round 1. So
I wish you would have taken some time after the eye poke.
Yeah, true. Yeah, for sure. But he felt like he was on him, right?
I know,
and that's what he said, and gave him inches.
Jiri, you mentioned, I had heard that there was a talk, so I don't think Alex Pereira was hacked. I don't think that was a real thing. But God bless him for that story. I had heard that he was upset because they were saying, hey, if you can't fight on this particular day, I think International Fight Week, that they were talking about Jiri versus Magomed. Is that accurate?
Yes. They inquired about if Jiri could do it.
And could he have?
I was like, I don't know how real this is, or if it's like a
part of the
testing
game,
the waters. You know what I mean? Not even like games and shit. Like they just want to know what their options are. And I felt like it may not have been necessarily an option for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's doing his exams. And like he took
his school exams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's legit.
I know.
And he's like, he's deferred them so many times. Like, man, I can't defer these again.
Oh my God.
So he wants to finish the exams, but also like he's done a lot, like some short notice stuff for him before. And he's like, man, when he gets full proper camps, like he looks so much better, and like because he's so diligent with his body. So I don't think he's gonna be a short notice guy anytime soon.
Okay. Do you think maybe the winner of this fight coming up, Khalil Jamal, or does that timing not work out because they're only fighting in late June? I thought if they were fighting in April, it would kind of work out with his timeline, but now that would keep him on the sidelines for a long time.
Yeah, I think the plan is to put him on the same card as Pereira and Ankalaev in a number 1 contender. So
who's that guy? Who's the guy on the?
Could be one of those two.
Yeah.
Could be Carlos Olberg, one of those guys. So any top contender around then, and then fight the winner of
Man, you versus Ash. That's awkward.
That would be the first time, yeah.
First time, yeah.
Would be the first time. Yep. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I love Carlos as well, but it can happen in the game.
But it would seem to be like he's right there, like maybe one away from getting.
Oh yeah, I mean, like they could do him and Ankalaev right now. Like if Pereira was not ready to go, do him and Ankalaev. That's a sick fight. I think Jiri matches up so well against him, and well, like I would favor him in that fight. So
right,
you can put Jiri in there any time. Again, the former champion thing. Like you got that shine on you forever. You can put him in a title fight whenever, and like you're never ever gonna regret putting Jiri Prochazka in a big spot because the fight's always gonna be good. So yeah, he's there.
Okay, let's end on this. I remember when you launched Chosen. It was 2 years ago, or maybe it's 3 now. Has time flown? This
2023.
2020, so 2 years ago, right? Around springtime of 2023. January. Okay.
2.5 years almost.
And you said you wanted it to be boutique. You wanted one guy per weight class. That's the goal. Obviously, you're growing. Do you still want that, or
yeah?
Or meaning like do you foresee with all the great success, like at some point you're going to have 30, 40 clients? Are you always going to keep it small like this?
Not 30 or 40. So we launched with 10. We're at 16 now. I don't see it getting much bigger. It's still just me and Dan. And then my brother has actually just completed his university degree. My brother's going to start working for us next year. So
how old's he?
He's 30.
Okay.
30, yeah. So he had a career change and he's going to come join us. So definitely not like 30, 40. Maybe if we get up to like 20. I think that's manageable with 3 staff. And as long as I feel like we can do a good job, continue to do a good job and it's manageable and good for the clients and also like maintaining the work-life balance that I want and that Dan wants. Like I don't want to, like we could, between Dan and I, we could go up to 40 clients in the space of 6 months and I think it would be fine, but I think that's not the best for our current clients. That's not the best for us. Like I don't want to be working like I used to work, quite frankly. And I'm not like bought into that. I work so hard type. I'm not like, I do work hard, but I also I like to train twice a day. I like to get 8 hours of sleep. I like to have a good personal relationship. I like to have friends and do other things. And
twice a day.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's like I'm not gonna. I think there's this such like a facade about like I work 20 hours. Like, cool, bro.
Yeah.
I'm happy with the way my life is right now, and I don't need like if I wanted more money, like 10 more fighters, I'm gonna make more money, but I'm pretty happy right now, you know.
Are we training for another fight?
No, maybe.
Really?
I want to this year, but I
pro or amateur?
I mean, it's amateur. Like that, it just kind of depends. The last one, like I think the opponent said it was a pro fight, but it was an amateur fight. It was like
you were wearing shin guards, right?
No.
Okay.
No. But then you can still have amateur without shin guards. Okay. I don't know. The fight's a fight.
Yeah. MMA though.
No. Never done MMA.
Muay Thai.
Just Muay Thai. Yeah.
Okay, but there's something like you still want to keep doing this.
Yeah, I had heaps of fun last year doing it. You know, I had those fights 10 years ago, and then I started running out of photos to post on Instagram. Yeah. So I was like, man, what's the point?
I'm a big Instagram guy. We had to go on other people. I think Izzy was the best chronicler of your wedding.
Yeah.
He posted a bunch of stuff. I think your brother was singing. Was he singing at one point? Because we saw.
My brother and my best mate. Yeah.
We saw footage, and I was like, "Is that Tim singing?"
Yeah, they did a song.
They did a song.
No, it wasn't me. It was my brother and my best mate. Yeah, Red.
The song was in honor of you. Look at you guys. This is all from Izzy.
Oh wow.
Actually, according to Connor, who's our social media master, he said you posted nothing.
So I don't really use.
Look at this wedding.
Damn.
You got Bam Bam there. You got Leon there. It's a star-studded affair.
I'm not super comfortable with putting my personal life in the public. I have like.
Does this annoy you that we're doing this?
I mean, it is what it is.
Look at this guy. This is your brother right here.
Yeah.
He looks exactly like you.
My best mate, Red. Yeah.
It's amazing. This looks like an unbelievable wedding. I'm a little offended I wasn't invited.
Sorry.
Look at this.
No, it was best, man. The best 4 days of my life. Amazing. Like, I couldn't have gone any better. Honestly, I'm very, very lucky. But no, I don't really like to. Like, I don't really use Instagram that much. Like, I have it on my laptop. Like, if I need to post something, I'll put it on my phone and then post and then delete it again. I use it on my laptop.
Wow.
So during working hours, it's kind of like see it as like a work tool.
Okay.
And I have a private Instagram, which is more about like me and my wife and my family and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. The internet's weird, and
yeah,
if I could be completely off it, I would.
Really?
Social media, but
you delete it off your phone.
Yeah, I don't use it on my phone.
Wow. What about Twitter?
Don't even have one. No.
Don't even have it.
No.
Don't feel like you need it.
Nah. For what?
How are you so wise at such a young age?
I don't know.
Most people your age are addicted to it.
I tell you, I do. I love YouTube. I like YouTube.
Okay.
But I feel like I learn things on YouTube.
Okay.
Like just random shit on YouTube thing. But yeah, no, like.
Will you start a channel maybe? No. Telling people how to manage?
No. Mate, the more I can be.
Fight vlogs.
The more I like, I appreciate this platform with you. Like it's because it's good for my business and that. But I don't even love doing this. You know what I mean?
I thought you just like talking to me.
Yeah. You're the only. If I have to, it's going to be you. But it's like, yeah. I mean, if I can be anonymous, I think that's the best.
Well, that's what I respect about you. You're not about yourself. You're about your clients. You and Dan as well. Much so, we were talking about your mustache, Dan. It's one of the great mustaches. No one can see it, but they can see it maybe on your social media.
Yeah.
Does Dan own Street X?
That's not different, Dan.
That's a different Dan.
Yeah. So,
okay.
No. Fuck, I wish we owned Street X.
Yeah.
Nah, Dan. That's Daniel Bradshaw. Different. Daniel.
Okay. That's the one who was messaging about the pinging the cunts and all that. Okay.
Yeah.
It's actually it's out.
Yeah.
Connor, GC in the back there tried to buy it. He said it was a little pricey.
He's the
the merch king.
Shipping from Oz. Yeah, he's the JDM king. He was the only one out of your entire uncrowned staff that picked JDM.
I think Frank did too. Mysterious Frank?
Yeah,
let's not forget about it. Most people do forget about him, if I'm being honest.
Wait, what?
There he is. Sorry, Frank. Didn't know you were listening.
Yeah, I like that. I know Connor's a big JDM guy. Smart man.
It was great to have him yesterday. Great to have you as well. Congrats on all the success.
Thanks, mate.
Saturday, what a day. And what's the next big one? I think you have one. You have Jack coming up, Jack Hermanson.
Hermanson's back on International Fight Week.
Is that the next big one?
And then Max in July. So got a bit of a break
New
now,
Orleans.
which is nice.
Oh, you have a nice little month and a half off.
Yeah, gone to Thailand.
When's she coming back, by the way, Casey?
Hopefully this year.
Okay.
She suffered another injury, which is really unfortunate. But she's rehabbing hard, and when she's healthy, back at it.
All right. Well, we look forward to that. Thank you so much for coming in.
Mate.
Appreciate you very much. We'll take a quick break. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.